Are we doing the little Spidey thing again? Or are we past that? Now we're just dancing. Let's just make a song. And that's our intro.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to the TokenPants. If you're on this video, that means you clicked through from the review and you're up for a full spoiler discussion.
Donde the Spider-Man? Because he went to climb the wall.
I'm Chris, aka Token Hero. This is Nancy the Pants. This is Mac here, aka Winter Boots.
What's going on, everybody?
This right there is Elise, aka Yo-Yo Babies. Not Yo-Yo Babies, because that's her babies.
His baby.
His baby. You know what I'm talking about. Right there, that's John, aka the Jerk Boots. So obviously this is for Spider-Man Homecoming. We just saw a special advance screening. It was amazing. Loved it. And let's get it started. I loved, my favorite thing in the movie, I mentioned in the reviews, but here's a full explanation, was the movement. Spider-Man there's always been a big joke about Spider-Man getting into sections of the city or anywhere where he's trying to save somebody and there's no trees, there's no buildings to swing off of. So what does he do? Apparently he runs. Because this movie really explored that facet of, if he's supposed to be this everywhere superhero, how can he do what he can do in areas where he just can't travel or swing through buildings? And they really fleshed that out. There's so many situations they put him in where he couldn't travel how he normally travels. And I thought that was awesome.
What is one of your cons about the movie?
Oh man, one of my cons about the movie? Not much for the movie itself. I would have liked the end credits bonus scenes were really good. I would have liked something that tied more directly to Infinity War that's coming up, or even Black Panther. That being said, I still love the end credit scenes. There's two of them, and the last one was pretty perfect.
I feel like that's going to be a Ragnarok, though. Can't put all your cards out on the table at the same time.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So, my pro, or my favorite thing about the movie was how, I guess you can't really say realistic because it is still, a superhero movie, but how...
Girl, it's realistic as shit. Okay?
This
Wrong spider bites your ass, you can get spider powers.
I'm trying, man. I've been bit like 18 times, man.
Nothing, I got nothing. Well, I did like how...
Every day, Matt sticks his arm in a goddamn cage. Full of arachnids.
Help me!
Nothing!
Matt, those are just regular spiders. Nah, I spit on that one. That one's drunk. This one's got cannabis.
So I really like the fact that they had Spider-Man kind of go through the trials of becoming Spider-Man. How he messes up, how he sometimes falls, how just, actually going through where he's not all of a sudden Spider-Man, he can immediately swing from buildings, and it's not such a slow or short montage of that. Because in previous ones, and trust me, I might get this wrong, but in previous movies, they kind of show it, but they don't show it. Yeah. Where he's like, oh, he falls once or twice, and all of a sudden he's an expert in everything he's ever done.
Yeah, they do that quick pan into his eyes where he gets it, and then the next scene is him.
Which is fine because you can, intellectually you can get it, but your body's not used to doing any of that stuff. Right. So, that I really liked. There were a couple moments within the movie as far as the CG that I was like, it didn't deter away from the movie, but you noticed them and I was like, oh, and I don't normally notice a lot of it. If you've seen previous videos, they've noticed things that I don't notice, but this time around I was like, oh, they could have done better, but overall it was such a great movie. It was filmed great, and they didn't do an intro to Spider-Man. And I was like, yes, we know who this person is. Yeah. We don't need that. And it did very well for this movie. It was just amazing. I loved it, absolutely.
To that, I'm letting y'all know right now, I get spider powers.
Oh my God.
I'm going after ISIS the next day.
John, do not say that.
I am going to be hooked.
Jesus is going on the interwebs.
Well, we're just trying to get the channel started, John. Shit, man.
It's fucking targeted.
I'm gonna be hopped up on the side of an Air Canada plane.
Air Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do a lot of flights to Japan. It's close.
Wait,
Look it up.
Are you
They're
gonna
cheap,
end
too.
up?
That's
They're
like saying
cheap.
Florida
They're
is
cheap
close to
flights.
California, man.
Are you gonna end up
What are
in
you talking
Japan?
about? It's on the other side of the world. At least I can take boats, you know.
Oh my
ride
God.
around.
You
know.
gonna take boats to a desert?
Hey! Alright.
Anything's possible in John's.
That's how they used to do it back in the day, alright? You ever heard about the
Hashtag anything's possible in John's world.
Hashtag Final Fantasy
Y'all just need to
14.
take
Eric, that's a
take some
t-shirt.
world history, because that is how they got the spices from port to port back in the day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, back when they thought that fucking America was India. That's what they were doing.
Hey, all right, didn't end too bad for them, did it?
Well, it
Actually, it really did. Depends
For
on
not Native Americans,
Depends on what side you
pretty
was
bad. All right.
I mean, we only, they
Hey.
only were killed by
Hey, we were
disease.
talking about Spider-Man Homecoming.
Spider-Man.
Off topic.
Alright.
Just click, damn it! Just click to the upper top portion if you want to learn more about Magellan. Just
I thought that Michael Keaton and Tom Holland were amazing.
Yeah.
Agreed. Like Nancy said, he was Spider-Man, but he wasn't Spider-Man yet. He wasn't used to swinging off of high-rise buildings, and there was like an actual scene where he's only like 500 feet in the air, and he's like, I don't know if I can do this, but you know, any other movie, he's hanging out on top of the Empire State Building, ready to fight, you know, Vulture or whoever. One of my cons, some of the comedy to me fell a little bit flat. Like Zendaya's character was unnecessarily mean, and characters like that don't make sense to me. She wasn't even like funny mean. It would just be like, oh man, I'm not feeling well today, and she's like, well, that's because you're a fucking piece of shit. And it's like, whoa, where did that come from? Everybody's super nice to you.
I feel like for that to have worked, she would have had to have a better relationship with some of the characters, because she was not unnatural. She was very aggressive towards Peter Parker for kind of no given reason,
She likes him.
but you kind of towards the end kind of figure out that like she does like
Doesn't
him.
like in love with him,
Yeah,
kind of.
and
Also-
so it makes sense. So
I like to say, it sounds like y'all had a pretty good trip through high school, because I knew multiple bitches like that.
I did too. I just didn't talk to them.
Just stank as hell for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, and I think a good reason why she was stank was because she knows.
He's listening like it's a real trip.
hashtag stink.
Hashtag stank, guys. Don't be
I think the actual reason why she was so stank in the movie was
No, I do, because I think she liked Peter Parker so much, and he liked Liz, and she didn't think she had a chance, so that made her angry all the time.
But that wasn't really reflected very well in the movie. Like you don't see that until the very end.
You don't see it to the very end, and even then it was
You
subtle,
also
where her
don't see-
eyes lightened up, and she was just like, oh.
Yeah.
you also don't see what she's going home to at night. She
Oh, damn,
she
it's
could be
getting
coming
real
home to
Well,
like
since
she's real
goddamn
serious.
falling apart marriage.
She is supposed to be MJ, so her dad is beating the crap out of her.
That's
Oh shit.
warning.
We've already said that this was spoilers,
This was
John.
full spoilers.
Full spoilers though. I mean, that's a big one though.
That's a comic book spoiler, though.
That's a pretty
Right.
rough.
I mean,
And it
Yeah.
was announced that she is MJ.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
it was
in the
already?
casting.
Oh, okay.
People lost their shit, remember?
At the end of it, she
you know
says,
what? I
people
was
call
under
me
the impression
MJ.
she was Gwen Stacy. I was way wrong.
Although I don't understand why. In the movie, they call her Michelle. Then she goes, people call me MJ. I'm like,
Maybe
first off,
she's Michelle Jessica.
Maybe.
no, man, it's Mary Jane. It's Mary Jane, man.
You
Hey,
know
man,
her life?
It's 2017, Chris. We
Her
gotta-
name better be
You gotta start dealing with
Michelle
some upgrades.
Mary Jane Watson.
All
I
right.
wish I had an acronym to be called.
Her name
EG.
is not Mary Jane.
EG.
It's Michelle Jessica.
Who the
That's
fuck
not
is
that big a
Michelle
jump.
Jessica. Are you making this up?
I'm making
He is
up as
making
I
this
go
up.
along.
Full
Is that a
made
real
up.
thing?
That doesn't-
I mean, like, you know, you got a J name for your
who knows? Maybe she's not really Mary Jane, and they're just making her MJ, and then she's gonna die, and they're gonna Mary Jane.
Ooh.
Oh, I would be
Come
really
on
upset
now.
if they did
Maybe.
that.
Damn.
Grim
Real
forecast,
dark.
guys.
However,
Did
I
you ever
don't
finish?
mind her
Yes.
being casted
Okay.
as Mary Jane. I thought Zendaya is
Yeah.
a fine choice for Mary Jane, but
But you did hear it first.
I did like the
Mary Jane
Jessica
dies.
cast. Oh my god.
Predicted it many years in the future.
2017, Chris Gordon, Mary Jane dies.
Hashtag that is not true. That did not happen in the movie. Hashtag very long hashtag.
Hashtag very long
Appropriate.
Very long hashtag. Okay, I think I said in the other review that I liked character development and comedy, and my favorite relationship through the whole movie was Tony Stark and Peter. Because I know it was such a small part, but I loved that they were like father-son type of thing.
Yeah.
And the arguments they would get into, and he's like, I just want to prove myself. And he was like, you're not ready, son. and then at the end when he's like, you can be part of the Avengers now, and he's like, nah, Dad, I'm gonna be rebellious like always, and then just say no. I just loved that relationship, and I loved like you guys said, you know, how he grew and how he didn't start out as Spider-Man, and he like grew into his role, and same with Tony in a way.
Yeah.
I also like to go on that thought. I also like how minor of a role Iron Man had. The trailers kind of leads you to believe that it's like a buddy comic, like a buddy movie where he's in the movie the whole time, and he's not at all.
That's
Really
the
happy
butts
they
in the
did
seats
that.
move right there.
Exactly.
They're trying
I'm
to
really
get
happy
butts
they
in
did
seats.
that.
Super minor part,
I was hoping that
but
they wouldn't.
it was perfect.
It was really perfect the amount of time that they spent with Tony Stark,
Yeah.
because you got to see him in that parental role, but then it wasn't overwhelming where it was like he is the center of the movie.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
very much Spider-Man, very much Peter Parker, and they still brought him in, and it was just like the perfect amount. Like, good.
Touching on that, did anybody see that moment in the trailer? Because I didn't see it in the movie, where Spider-Man's swinging and Iron Man is flying aside him.
No, it wasn't in the movie. That was just for the trailer.
That was not in the movie, no.
That was just in there. Okay,
Just
I
in the trailer.
thought maybe I missed it. Maybe I was looking down at my butt.
No, just in the trailer.
And then, so with not only the character development, but I really liked the comedy. I mean, I enjoyed it thoroughly. Probably my favorite was his best friend. His comedy
Ned.
was great.
What about you, John?
Yeah.
Well, there's two things I'd like to touch on that. At least touch on one. The charisma between Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Their banter in between, like with each other, like there hasn't been really an interaction in any of the Marvel movies like this one has.
That's true.
They're able to bounce off each other absolutely perfectly, and so that's what creates this, great like bond that you can see between them. That Elise was touching on. The comedy for me was absolutely incredible. Just it's hard to write like really really funny stuff, and they were able to write funny stuff on. Like I there was only maybe once or twice where a joke was like, and then even then I was like, I could see where they were going with that. Not bad at all. And then, like I was saying in the earlier review, the preview or whatnot, the character behind the Vulture, Michael Keaton. Jesus Christ. I can't say enough good things about that. He fleshed out the character and made it an everyman, and just really set that thing home. That's pretty much the new standard when it comes to villains for any superhero movie. That is the new standard.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
Name me. Oh,
I kind of agree.
can't call me out. Can't call me out. Give me an example.
I love.
Give me an example.
I'm only going off of how I felt during the movie. Like
Yeah.
the first 25 minutes of the movie, I was bored with the villain. I was. I mean,
Man.
like, he hadn't showed me anything that was like he's really that big of a threat. I mean, he had the guns and stuff, but it's like.
He had the FBI on him,
But he
and
wasn't,
dude
he wasn't-
insulted him, and he said,
He was a thief. He
Bow!
wasn't. He wasn't like trying to kill.
He might have been a
I don't
thief.
think.
I don't care who you are. You could be a goddamn purse snatcher, and you get rolled up on by the CIA and FBI, and one was like, "Yeah, dick face," and you're like, "Dick face, come here, you little bitch."
I don't think
That's hard.
I don't think that
That's real hard.
that character was supposed to be such a such a villain character at the
Yeah,
very beginning.
I
I
agree.
think they made him. I think Spider-Man himself, because he was slowly exposing him, made him to be more and more of this villainous character. When at the beginning you kind of know that it's him
like,
just
he's a
trying
thief,
to be,
dude.
it's him just trying to work and trying to, provide for his family. And then as it goes on, you're like, oh, this guy's an asshole. Like you start to realize that he's a terrible person. And so I think that. That's how I went into it, and so I wasn't necessarily bored with that character, but I could see how, as the movie went on, how like more and more of a villain he became.
Yeah, I think maybe I went in with expectations of more
Like Green Goblin.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a more of oh, I'm doing this to destroy the world, not
Yeah,
I need to feed my family.
I love Michael Keaton's
I
performance.
really doubt that. Like, and it's hard to top, William Dafoe in any role. Because that motherfucker just...
Any villain role ever.
It's like he must have went into acting school and just asked the guys, just like...
What's the creepiest part you got?
How do I be creepy? I just want to nail creepy.
And they said, well, you got that face. Shoot your
Spider-Man.
Just look at me and do that smile you always do. God damn. I feel like I'm looking inside my own soul and Satan is somehow there.
I agree, man. I thought Michael Keaton was amazing. I'm so glad that they didn't kill him off and they're going to use him. And because you could tell they laid the groundwork to use him in future movies. I mean, of course, it's fucking Michael Keaton. He's Batman. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought it was...
He's Birdman.
Right?
No, he's
More
Batman.
relevancy.
I have a question for you
Birdman
guys
was
when
dumb.
we move on.
I was actually really worried about Vulture.
Okay.
I was worried about Vulture as a villain because, like I was saying at the theater, Vulture is a low-level thug for Spider-Man, except for in Spider-Man Noir, when he was eating people alive and shit.
Oh, damn.
And other than that, he's always been basically a petty criminal.
Yeah.
And they, by far, surpassed all my expectations for what Vulture could be.
Well, the technology that
That's a
the
good
that
saying,
they used
though.
for him was amazing.
Bypass your
Yeah,
expectations.
it really was.
Like the
They
wings-
straight up side skirted them motherfuckers.
the wings and the technology that they used for his character, I think, really made him. Especially how big it was
Yeah,
and how
it
it
was
was
very
pretty much
intimidating.
just
Very
a jetpack,
intimidating.
and he just slept it on. And he was like, "I'm a fucking bird,"
Yeah, and
you
the
know.
mask and stuff,
It worked. It worked so
Yo,
well.
when he was on that plane and he was doing bird-like movements, I was like, this is kind of creepy. He's acting like a bird.
Doing
He
bird
is.
things.
Like he was going like. I was
Like
like,
a crow
damn.
trying to scare away another crow.
I was like, man, the only thing that would have set it over the top is if he was like, as he was doing it, he was like,
Gah, gah.
doing that pigeon shit.
I like that zero G vacuum move that Zoo can do. I thought it was cool.
We're just like.
I like how it was just they're talking about, I'm like, man, what the hell is this thing gonna be? And it's just a heist maneuver. It's just for the purpose
You have
of
to admit,
stealing
though.
from planes.
They did make it sound like it was going to be super dangerous. Like, is it ready yet?
But I mean, at the same time, he's 35,000 feet up, man. That shit goes wrong. That's your ass, son. That shit pops off.
To clarify,
And then he's just on the plane.
to clarify what they're talking about, there's several parts in the movie where they're talking about this vacuum seal, and this guy's like, I can make the vacuum seal, and Michael Keaton's character is like, nah, man, we don't need that shit. And then 20 minutes later, he's like, for real though, I can make this vacuum seal. He's like, for real though, we don't need that shit. And then Spider-Man foils a robbery, and he's like, all right, man, how soon can that shit be ready? And he's like, oh, it's ready, son.
I did it anyways.
And what it is his wings come together and they form a seal on the bottom of a plane so that he can get into the plane without cabin depressurization, basically.
So they have these little cubes, and they throw the cubes, and it creates like a
Portal.
Yeah, like a portal, kind of inside. So you can just throw these things and then just slip your hand in, so you're in without causing any disruption to wherever you're going. First of all, I think those are awesome. I need them. You lock your keys in your car, fucking throw those cubes.
It's like
Unless
the black
you lock
hole
the
from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, I did have a question for all of you guys. Were you? I don't want to I know this is a spoilers video, but I don't really want to give this spoiler away. The twist with Vulture. Did that catch you guys off guard?
No.
It caught me off guard. I did not see it coming.
Nobody give it away.
That's an important one.
Yeah, I
think
didn't.
it was
I didn't see
Yeah.
it coming either,
I'd see
and
it
I was
coming
like, and it's funny because usually you do. Usually there's
Yeah.
groundwork and stuff, and but nothing. That was like a straight blindside. I was
Man.
So
like,
they had that character
They had you
cemented so
distracted.
much as this
Yeah,
like
distracted.
villainous. Yeah, as
Yeah.
this
You
villainous
had no
person.
time to think about.
Yeah,
like,
man. It was really a twist, one of those twists where you just walking along, somebody just comes right behind your kneecaps and just bah, just takes them right under you.
They did a very good job in like establishing this guy as like this specific person. He is just this that you kind of forget about that everyday man. Like, where is he? He's a family guy,
Right,
Like, and
exactly.
so you see that like twist coming, you're like, oh shit, wait. He's a person. Like, you kind of forget about that. So it was, honestly, I did not see it coming, and I really liked that aspect of it. And how intelligent he was.
And to
How,
touch,
like, everything clicked, and he was like,
Figured out so
this
quickly.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
That to me
I
was
love
the-
that because there are so many moments in comic books and especially comic movies where even if you weren't watching the movie and getting all the info, if you were the bad guy, you would know who these secret identities are. Like if you were smart, you could figure it out. And I love that he did that in that movie.
And it's like, oh my god, I don't
huh,
see
that guy's
many
always disappearing when this guy comes.
So weird.
Must be a strange coincidence. I live in a crazy world where fate intertwines randomly.
Yeah, that whole scene. I bet Peter Parker.
How
was sitting next to her
serendipitous.
Like, shut up!
Shut up.
Bitch, shut.
I know.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
For real.
For sure.
He knows. He knows.
I probably would
Spider-Man.
have shit my pants in the back of that car.
Oh my god.
I was, yeah.
When he started looking at me, asking me those questions, then when he pulls out the gun, I'm like, oh god, help me.
It was so nice to see
I was waiting
a
for him
movie
to.
that,
keep going.
it was so nice seeing a movie that had like a twist that I didn't figure out before it happened.
Yeah,
'Cause I
man.
feel like every time I see a movie that with a twist, I'm like, well, I knew that was gonna.
I think Marvel, like, they overall with this movie, the way it was shot, the way that it was edited, the way that it just flowed overall was so, it was done in such a great way that you didn't see these moments coming. That they were all moments, and you're just like, whoa. And I think it's rare to see a movie done like that, where you don't see that coming, and the filming and editing is just done very, very well. And I think Marvel definitely pulled it off with Spider-Man. And it was different. It was different than any Spider-Man movie I've seen.
By far,
And yeah, by far, I absolutely love. I think it was one of their best movies yet.
I would agree with that.
If I can
I
ask
agree.
everybody a question, did anybody remember or notice there was no spider sense in the movie?
Oh, I did not even realize.
I wonder
Yeah.
if that's something
I don't
that
think there
they're
was
going
ever
to
a
add
time
to
where
the
he really
suit.
And he
needed to
hasn't
use it
figured
though
it
in
out
the
yet.
movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not there in his training.
No,
and his suit
I mean,
that
like,
they have for him.
he like, there was a part where he, like, it's towards the end of the movie where, something's coming from behind at him and he ducks.
That's true. It
He
was
does.
actually. It
Maybe
was
he's
actually.
barely
It's just-
figuring
It was a
out.
shot-for-shot recreation from the first Sam Raimi movie when he
Yeah,
flipped over the glider.
Yeah. I feel like they're just not. I feel like they're just
gonna
like.
use it, like slow-moing it.
You guys know he has spider sense, all right? We're not going to do a slowdown. We're not going to go have him go like, danger is somewhere.
But that's another thing that's like really great about the movie is that he's established. You know
Yes.
who this motherfucker is.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is Spider-Man. You know who he is. You don't need to, get these questions answered. Just get on with life, and that
Y'all,
worked.
y'all
I
ready?
was really afraid that. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Go
no.
first.
I mean, you.
All right. I was
Ladies
really
first.
afraid that they were gonna do that. That they're gonna we're gonna have to reestablish him, showing how my uncle died, all of these things, and I was
Yeah.
like resenting it. I was like, please don't.
Well,
show
I
that's-
like
me
how they
that.
didn't even touch on it. They're just like,
It
this
doesn't matter, it's in the
motherfucker's
past.
uncle is dead.
Yeah,
All right?
I think they said one.
You
thing
know how
about
he
him,
died?
Avengers 2.
We all know
Yeah,
how we
they-
We're
died.
not even going to talk about it. We're not even
No,
going
it
to give
was
the reason to how
Civil
he
War.
died.
Yeah, I think
In
so.
Civil War, they said one thing about it when Aunt May was like, I don't want anything to happen to you, after
Yeah.
your uncle, and that was it.
They're
Yeah,
like,
they didn't mention his
he
uncle.
could
ever
have
in this
fucking
movie.
had too much tasty cakes and died from cholesterol.
They didn't even give the great.
I don't
power.
want you traveling abroad and eating all those goddamn donuts and dying like your father did, or like your uncle did.
They didn't even do the great power, great responsibility gag. Like, not at all.
But
Because we all know with great power comes with great responsibility. Come on now.
To be fair though, like 20 years from now, when we have like kids or like, I mean, you know, like older children who haven't seen this movie or haven't seen previous movies are going to be like, wait, what? How does he have these powers? Like if like somebody didn't know about Spider-Man and then they saw this
feel
movie,
like-
I don't know.
like, wait a second.
I disagree.
I feel like
it might happen.
I feel like Spider-Man.
I feel like there's a couple people that might, but I mean, like, I feel like it's just it's like Superman. Like, you ask anybody what Superman's power set is, and they'll tell you. You ask anybody how he gets his power set.
No,
And
no,
they'll
it was honestly no.
Rewind.
No.
Edit that.
Mr. Director, we'd like to send it back.
I'm just saying.
All right, so y'all
Ace
ready?
Ventura.
Y'all ready for left field now? Y'all ready for left field?
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the movie, Michael Keaton's hair.
What?
I know it's left field, but they don't do anything to, like, basically make his hair look like presentable for movies.
Oh yeah, he had helmet hair all the time.
Yeah, that's
helmet
what it
hair
is.
all
They're
the
just showing
time.
his age.
Like, you could see through his hair. I was absolutely impressed. Take it from a guy who's
I was about to say, is this coming
thinning
close to home?
already.
Is that what
That's what
It's
it was.
really hitting
It's
home,
hard.
all right? Like, it was like I was in the stands and it just came right for me. I was just like, okay.
Come on.
We all get old, all right? Not all of us keep it.
Well, you know, I don't know about
Shut up.
Michael Keaton makes it okay.
Beautiful Nubian hair.
And
There's a forest back home that looks just like your head.
That's jacked up.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god, that's jacked up.
Compliment.
man.
Do we have any other points we want to talk about? Anything else?
I mean, I feel like
Go see it.
Yes.
Give them your money because it's amazing.
Yeah, man. Get ready for Thor and get ready for Black Panther because that shit's gonna be amazing.
Ooh, Black Panther looks.
the gadgets, guys. The gadgets.
The
Let's
gadgets
talk about
were
the
really
gadgets.
cool. The
Spider-Man's
suit
got
was
some
cool.
crazy ass gadgets in
Yeah.
this movie.
His suit was
absolutely
so freaking
incredible.
cool.
Shout out to Karen. I love you, Karen.
What?
Karen.
Yeah.
First time he said Shakaren, but he meant Karen.
I did say
Oh.
It
Shakaren.
should be Karen.
I was like, who the hell
What
is
up,
Shakaren?
Shakaren?
Hashtag Shakaren.
Fuck you doing, Spider-Man?
Oh my god, that moment,
Can't
you
do that.
guys, when he
Can't
was
do
like,
that.
"This is
Pump
your,"
the brakes.
she was like, "This is your moment."
Oh, man.
This
I was like,
everybody. I'm sorry that got cut so short. We actually were, while we were filming this, ran out of space on our SD card. So we didn't know that the whole last section where we're talking about the technology got cut off. But to wrap up what we were saying, we were talking about his AI inside his new suit. Her name's Karen, and she's pretty funny and pretty hilarious throughout the movie. And there's a scene where, at the end, where we're just touching on, where she tells Spider-Man to kiss his crush, which is Liz, and it's a totally inappropriate time to do it, and he freaks out about it. It was really funny, really cool. But the movie was fantastic. Please go see it. Give it your money. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you have any ideas or want us to review something else, please let us know. And as always, thanks for watching. Was the...
Hey, that should be your intro music.
What?
You're not gonna introduce us?
Okay. Hey, everybody! Introduction.
And cut. We're gonna start that over.
Okay.
No, we don't
This,
have to.
everybody,
You just have to
it's
take
a real live world we live in, all right?
You just take
Pokemon
it from.
jokes.
Okay, so look.
This is people at its finest.
John, we can edit.
Mistakes happen.
Like, we can edit things and we can like splice it together and then we can put it as one. It's really
Yeah.
an interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Here we go.
here we go.
Here we go.